Welcome, everybody, to Fun in the Kuntry Basement. I'm Walter Kuntry 3D, and today I'm the host of this shindig. But without further ado, it is Glenn, half of the Fun King 3D arrangement.
Well, actually, I think it's become more like a third now because Zach's pretty involved. But
there you go.
Hey, everybody, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D, and I'm excited to be here. That's all I got for right now. We'll go to the base. Oh, go to the basement.
Go to the basement.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, I am Chris from my basement, and it's Sunday. It's Fun in the Country Basement time. It's always one of the best 2-hour sessions of the week, if not the best. So we'll see how this one goes. But hello, everyone.
All right, now I'm going to take care of the housekeeping. If you're not subscribed to any three of us, go to funcountrybasement.com and click on the subscribe links and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And I'm going to say hello to Michael Fox, Pete C, Chris Gulata, Alien 3D's in the house, Tristan's here, Christopher Maschek, 3D Medic Vince, Mad Mike 8, Clint's here, Andrew S, HVAC A to Z, Techie Dad, Mapro 6, Patrick Nijenhoff, Bob S, T-Lo, what's up? Paul Cumber, Jeff Slater, Michael Cassell, 247, Hinky, John McNack, 3D Designs and 3D Homebrew, and then Mark Williamson jumps in at the end. Casa del Wacos, welcome back, my friend. Hadn't seen you in a while. All right, we are getting moving. You left Thomas to come see us. What's up, Shom? Shom's in the house too. Gary D119. They keep popping in here. God, I can't keep up. I think Chris is the only person working on anything today, and he's reverting. So,
Yes, I have Actually, I have a bunch of parts still printing, which reminds me, I need to find some black PETG because I ran out in the middle of a print.
Oh, I got a roll right here.
That would be excellent. Glenn, do you recall, or Walter, was there any Maker box or Alien 3D box that had some black PETG in it? Because that might be my only saving on this one.
I will have to look.
I'm sure there was a Maker box, but
this stream might be me digging through boxes.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, I would have to go dig through all the, and then even then, I don't know what box it's. Like I couldn't tell you what month it was in.
Right. Well, wait. Oh, wait. I have a roll from the MMU upgrade kit. Yes.
What was that?
This roll?
Oh, no. You know what, Josh? Because you texted me while I was in church, and I didn't even see it, brother. That would have been awesome. Yeah, no, I'm sorry I missed it. I see it here now, but
did you find some, Chris?
Yeah. I forgot that I had this third of a spool from the MMU2 upgrade.
Right. I was gonna mention that. That was the next thing coming out of my mouth. Do you have any left over from the MMU2?
I certainly do.
Also, Glenn, you need to give us all an update on Miss Priscilla because we've all been following and all been worried about her.
Yeah, she's 10 pounds lighter now. They took that huge boulder out of her. So Monday we went in and they put a tube in. It was an outpatient procedure, but they put a tube into her kidney that was sticking out of her back. I never got to see it. They put a bandage over the top of it. I never got to see it. And then Tuesday, we just kind of hung out. We had a hotel down in Tampa. We just kind of hung out, and we took the kids to the Museum of Science and Technology, and I pushed my wife around in a wheelchair for a few hours, but it was just too hard on her to sit like that. So we just went back to the hotel and rested. Then Tuesday night, we had got a call. They moved her surgery. She was supposed to go in at 1:30 on Wednesday. They moved it up to 7:30, so we had to be at the hospital at 5:30 in the morning, which I was up by 3 o'clock that morning because I couldn't sleep. The procedure was supposed to be 2 hours. It ended up being 3 hours and 15 minutes. The doctor came out and told me that he felt very confident that they got it all, 100%. or at least 98 was the way that he put it. And they did a CT scan Wednesday night and found a 4mm chunk and an 8mm chunk still in there that they couldn't reach from the direction that they had gone into her kidney. So she went back in on Thursday, and they went up the plumbing to get to it, and ended up getting both pieces out. But the doctor had come in during pre-op on Thursday and said, he said, we did good yesterday. We got about 94% of it. And I said, 94? Yesterday you told me 98 or 100, you know? Like, I was completely busting on him, but they did manage to get both the last 2 big chunks out of there. So they are fairly certain that everything is gone now. And now she's just in the recovery portion of it, which the worst is the amount of medication that they have her on and stuff, and the painkillers. The painkillers make her woozy, and the rest of it, like, give her dry mouth and all kinds of other fun things. So, but she's doing well, and we have a wonderful group of friends and supporters that have been bringing us food so that we can eat, and my wife doesn't have to cook dinner, and I don't have to poison the kids with my cooking.
Right.
So, but I'll tell you, if you ever have to be hospitalized, Tampa General Hospital is an amazing, amazing hospital. It's 10.5 million square feet. They have an app that you install on your phone, and you connect to the Bluetooth, and like you tell it where you want to go, and it gives you like internal GPS to get you there because the hospital is so huge.
Nice.
Through the whole procedure, they would text me updates like, you know, patient has arrived in the operating room. The procedure has begun. Procedure's going as planned. All these updates through the surgery, which is wonderful to not have to sit and wonder. They give you a number. They give you a card with a unique patient number on it, and you can watch a screen as it changes status as well. But no, it was a good. For being surgery, it was a good experience. So the one really sad part, though, is we went home on Friday, and Saturday was Tampa's Mini Maker Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually in Gainesville on Saturday, and when we got through doing a little bit of the stuff we were going to do, and my wife and daughter were doing some other stuff that I wasn't helping do, and I was going to contact Dan and run over and see their new building in Gainesville, and then he posted on Facebook, having a great time at Tampa Maker Fair.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're not in Gainesville, so I can't come see you.
Well, I didn't even bring a Fun King shirt. Had I gone, I would have been totally incognito.
Right. But
so Xander, I don't know if you guys will be able to hear him because he's not mic'd up, but for those of you guys who don't know, Xander is taking on a new venture. This is the part where you tell him about it. So for those of you who don't know, Xander was finally granted permission, because his dad is really mean and doesn't give him stuff, to have his own YouTube channel. And he's going to do gaming. Unfortunately, he's going to need more hardware. We did a test stream today, and it was a little bit choppy. So, but for all of you who care to support Xander, I would love for you to go and subscribe to his channel so that he can hit 100 and get his name secured. If you search the name Pegleg Paul, he'll have to tell you the story on all that. But you search the name Pegleg Paul on YouTube, somebody does come up, but it comes up as just as a regular user account, not as a channel, not as a like a brand channel. So
what's the story on that name?
You got to tell the name. You got to tell the story. Yeah, I can give you a mic. All right, give him a second to get mic'd up here. I don't think he was really expecting to have to do this. He doesn't want a camera on his channel right now. All he's going to be doing is screen capture. He's afraid for people to see his ugly mug. Oh, I thought that's what you told me before.
What did you say about me?
Hang on, I got to turn you on. This new mic pack, these are metal. They're super heavy. All right, talk.
Hello.
Can you guys hear him?
Yes.
yep.
Hi. Have you guys
Or the game Plunder Pirates. Mobile game strategy. Kind of Clash of Clans like.
Nope.
No?
That's
Okay.
okay.
So pretty much, I chose the username Pegleg, and then I went to Roblox and I wanted to use Pegleg, but it was taken by probably a bot, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So I added Paul to the end of it and it wasn't taken, so I use that for everything now.
So ye who has no name of Paul, now Pegleg Paul. I'm not watching Xander unless he renames his channel Fart Box Generator. No, it's just Fart Generator.
I didn't want to watch you.
It's just Fart Generator.
Watch my channel anyway.
FartGenerator.com. We do own PeglegPaul.com as well. That was part of the criteria. I wasn't going to let him have a channel name without a corresponding website to go with it.
I'm
So
done now. Bye.
I mic'd you up for that.
Yes.
You could thank the people.
I'm currently 4 of your subscribers, Xander, so I expect something good.
Well, right now what you get is choppy gameplay. So
What's your game of choice, Xander? What are we going to try first?
I'm gonna do some Roblox first, and then I plan on doing a Minecraft series.
Excellent.
when, like, it's been so long since I did all of this, I don't really remember doing any of it. So when I went through to set his up, you have to enable live streaming. Well, when you click the button to enable it, it's then 24 hours before you can stream.
Oh, wow.
Right? Like, and it must be automated because it was pretty much 24 hours, and then all of a sudden it was enabled. It was, so we couldn't even test it. Like, we couldn't even set up OBS and stuff properly. But we ran through the wizard, and I made a couple tweaks and stuff, and I can't get all the lagginess out of it. So now we got to plunk some money down and buy him a video card.
Thanks, Dad.
Oh no, I didn't say I was buying it.
Dang it.
Hope you got some money put away, boy. I told him the first $50 of every month that he generates, I get for the increased bandwidth on our internet connection. I won't see that for a few years.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Well, I do have to tell 3D Jimmy thank you for the suggestion, and those of you that backed him up on it. I did get a TENS unit. That thing is freaking awesome.
Right? Plus, you can torture people with it.
Oh yeah, but no, it's awesome. It's just awesome. I wore it today for 30 minutes, and I was like, that's just amazing.
Cool. Yeah, it's like having a masseuse following you around all the time.
Then I put it up on my neck after I got done with my back. I put it up on my neck, and I turned it way up, so I was just sitting there doing this.
Yeah. You get the one that, like, when it ramps up real slow, and you're like,
yeah. Like, well, not too high.
Now that sounds like YouTube content.
Oh, Hardman said, just to let you know. Oh, here, I'll let you read it. Just let the kids know mowing lawns, paperboy duties will get some extra cash for that video card.
yeah. Mowing lawns in this neighborhood is difficult because every house is on at least an acre of land. So, like, the houses are really far apart. But I don't think you can get paper routes anymore. You got to have a car for that.
Yeah, you do.
But no, I will definitely hold him hostage.
Question on the peg leg Paul: is it the parrot or a skull?
It is the skull.
It is the skull. 3D Jimmy. It is the skull.
Yeah, I will post that. I will post that link again. The parrot is the guy. He's only got like 30 subscribers. And again, if you go to youtube.com/peglegpaul, it goes to his channel, but it goes to user/peglegpaul. As where, like, if you go to, youtube.com/funking3d, it just stays at /funking3d. So, but yeah, Brian Vines is right. If you go to peglegpaul.com, there's a subscribe button right on the website. I try to make it as easy as possible for you. So. And if you hate his content, it's fine. You can unsub after he gets his name. We just really want to hit that 100 mark to begin with. Because if he doesn't secure the name, then we have to get a different domain and change the whole thing.
Well, I'm going to bring up my question that I talked to you about before the stream, Glenn, to Chris, because he has printed. You have printed the rep box rewinders, have you not, Chris?
Not the rep box version, but many different versions of Rewinder. Yes.
Well, I had a thing with Simplify 3D. I sliced this on my TiVo, and it printed great, man. It laid down fine, and then all of a sudden, it started putting solid layers on top of my spring with infill. And I looked at it in the slicer, and there's no solid layer in the slicer when I preview it.
You mean it's like putting it in the right in the middle of the spring?
No, just the entire spring is covered with a solid layer.
Well, I mean that's I guess that's what I'm trying to say. That's how those work. I might have one somewhere to show you. So when you break it all apart, it actually, the center of the spring is attached to the plate, and then the outside circle comes up and divides into two pieces.
Yeah,
so there's actually
you can't break this apart. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, and so I ended up. I mean, so I did them all on the Prusa, and you have to have a perfect first layer, or it'll become completely fused.
Okay, I did not do these on the Prusa. I did these on the TiVo Little Monster.
Yeah, they're real tricky to get just right. I bet you I printed 10 of them before I was satisfied.
All right, so what I'll do is when this print finishes in an hour and 24 minutes, I will slice them for the Prusa and put them on that bed.
Yeah,
and, try them with that.
That should solve it.
Well, right now I have 4 coasters, so.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them as well. So. Yeah, it's not the easiest thing to print. That was actually my last month's Patreon video because it was quite challenging for me.
Yeah. But they are going to be pretty good coasters.
Yeah. Pretty too.
For those of you, Glenn left us.
Did I?
Yeah, no camera.
Oh. I was in here messing around.
I hear you.
See what happens? Hopefully my video is a lot better today than it was last night. The throughput has reflected that, but
dude, you were 8-bit last night. That's no joke.
Yeah, the router was just going crazy. It was completely pegged out, and it did that to me one other time. So I really got to figure that out. Video is good.
So, Chris, tell us why you're reverting the log printer.
Okay, secrets and secrets. So Log just recovered from a pretty interesting project, and you will see that pretty shortly on the channel. It was kind of like a 3D printing project, but it completely dismantled most of this printer. And so now I'm trying to recover from that. But I finally reprinted all of the parts to this transparent blue. I've been just kind of piecing through it one at a time. So now I'm trying to get it back up and working so that I can get all of the firmware configured correctly again, because it has unique leveling spots. Since I don't use Prusa firmware, I have to tailor Marlin to get to those areas.
Right.
And once I have all that tuned in, then I'm going to dismantle it. And I'm going to upgrade the extruder to a 2.5 Mark III-ish type of extruder so that I can go to the new leveling sensor. So that's the process.
I called Chris about it the other day, but I brought it up also last night when I jumped in their stream real quick. I forgot that I had upgraded to the 2.5S on my home-built clone of the i3. So I do have a Mark 52 bed for use. It is a 12 volt, however, and since Steven the Lightspeed and RCCNC are sending me the Einzi and some 24 volt supplies, respectively, I ordered online a 20 amp buck converter, basically, that'll convert me down to 12 volts to run the bed. so I don't have to buy a new Mark 52 bed. So
What would happen if you ran 24 volts into a 12-volt bed? Wouldn't it just heat faster?
no, it'll smoke the circuitry in these, from what I understand.
Michael Fox said to you, Walter, that there's a newer version of the spring that doesn't use the solid part.
Well, I'm using Joe Mike Terranella's Repbox re-spooler, and I talked to Joe Mike on the phone, and he said to use all the parts that are on Thingiverse for the version that I have. That's what I printed.
Okay.
So yeah, I saw that from Michael Fox, and I appreciate it. But I'd have to go. I don't know what newer version he's talking about. I'm using Joe Mike, so.
Yep,
And
Matt from How I Did It brings up a good point, though. Routers overheating when you're trying to stream, that very well could be an issue.
I could understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3D Jimmy, that was for the Barely Bear, yes.
Barely Bear.
So it's going to be a 2.5S, so I am going to have to do nothing. I don't have to do anything. I've got everything that I need, I think. There was no X carriage for the 2.5S because you're supposed to already have it. So I'll have to go out and get the Prusa 2.5X printable part for it.
Tristan wants to know if anyone here has gotten a Pi 4 to actually boot into Raspbian. I haven't even been able to get a Pi 4.
Yeah, I can't even get a hold of one. I've tried.
Yeah, I know. I looked right after they came out. I looked on Amazon, and I think there was one left. And yeah, no, it was gone before I could check out with it. And Tristan said 14 volts into a 12-volt bed will more than triple the power output. It's not good. Or 24 volts. I looked at a lot of forums, and one guy actually tried it, and it burned his board up. So, but I am working on the project. I'm getting things done and printed that I need, so things are moving along. And I don't know if you can see it in the background or not, but the Kuntry Cube is printing as well. I got it all set up and leveled today and stacked my tables because I had to put a refrigerator in here, so I had to move things around.
And thanks to all you beautiful people, Xander's now at 55.
Moving up in the world.
Somebody asked what stream yesterday. Ryan, Mr. Buttram, has been hosting, along with a few others, has been hosting a Saturday night 3D printing hangout. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's fun.
Yeah, I went, it was a little bit later, like it was after it had started already, and I was going to pop in, but there was already 6 people up on there, and then I thought, I'm just too tired. Didn't get much sleep this week.
Yeah.
My wife wouldn't get sleep, so then she would text me, like the doctors would come in at 4 o'clock in the morning, so she would text me updates, and the text would wake me up, so then I was up wee hours in the morning.
Yeah. Rapala Street asked, but if the printer uses PWM PID control for bed temperature, will the buck converter tolerate a PWM input signal? I don't know. I'm going to find out, though.
Just don't use PID.
At 24 volts, it will use twice the current. Actually, it would use half the current. If you double the voltage, the resistance would be the same, therefore your amperage would be cut in half. Close.
He said if you do try to do it 24 into a 12-volt bed, cut the max PID bang way down.
Carl said I was on the stream. You don't remember? I must have been taking Ambient.
Oh, yeah, no, he put up a big picture of you in the background, kind of like you're sitting
nice.
right now.
nice that you guys were thinking about me.
Yeah, I guess you can turn off the PID for that, right, Chris?
Yeah, most printers don't have PID enabled for the bed. It's just bang bang.
Yeah.
A lot of printers, I guess I should say.
It turns it on to get the temperature and then turns it off when it's there.
On and off. Yep.
Is that? Do you know if that's the way Prusa does it right now?
No, they have. It might still be in the firmware where you can turn that off. I haven't looked at it in a while. I know the Mark III firmware, it does actually. It has a pretty consistent PID tune where it flickers it on and off.
Right.
But all that old stuff might still be in there, so we just have to look.
But the thing about it is, I understand the flickering on and off, but it's still sending 12 volts or 24 volts to the heat bed, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just. I mean, it's 24 volts either way, right?
So theoretically, I mean, the buck converter should do the same thing. If it's sending 24 volts, it should just change it to 12 at the same rate, right?
Yeah, I would think so. So you're feeding it in at 24 volts. I mean, that's constant. I guess what they're worried about is the hit that it takes when it energizes, and then, when it kicks the power on and off. But I don't know how that would impact it.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I wonder if a solid state relay let the board run to a solid state relay, let the buck converter feed the voltage to the relay on the other side, so that the INC board's turning on and off a solid state relay. Therefore, there's no draw on it. It'll be very low current, and then have the 12 volts switching through the solid state relay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's already turning on and off. The PID tune is using the MOSFET on the board, right, to turn it off and on. So basically,
there's going to be that. There'll be a constant hit to that buck converter.
Yeah.
When it's off, coming back on, off, coming back on, off, coming on. As where buck converters are made to just take a voltage and step it down or up, depending.
Right.
I don't know. They're cheap enough. If you burn it out, just get another one.
Yeah, it was $15 for a 20 amp one.
Yeah.
They didn't have a 10 amp one. That's what I was going to use, but
use a MOSFET and a buck converter before the MOSFET. That's not a bad idea, Mad Mike. All this stuff is so cheap nowadays.
use a MOSFET before the converter?
Converter before the MOSFET. So you'd always be energized, and the MOSFET would do the switch.
Oh yeah, but I mean, I don't know how you would do that on the INZ Rambo.
You would use the Rambo
To switch
to
the MOSFET.
switch the MOSFET, and the voltage would go through the buck converter and into just like using a solid state relay. Same premise.
But that's what I'm saying. If I go from the MOSFET on the board,
You would come from the INC and feed it to a MOSFET, so that the INC board is clicking a MOSFET on and off. Then you would run your voltage out of your buck converter. You'd come from the power supply to the buck converter, from the buck converter to the input side of the MOSFET.
okay, so I can already do that, right? Because they have a board. They have board input power already. So that's what I'm going to do.
What's got board input power?
On the ING Rambo, there's two prongs where you put the power in. So I'll just come from the power supply through the buck converter into the heat bed power supply on the board, and then just run 12 volts to the board for the power for the heat bed.
The INC's got a different input for the bed?
Yeah, you don't just have mains power. You still have two powers going in. One is for the board and one's for the hot end, right?
Well,
Yeah,
Or the main board.
They throw them on different. They got one on a 10 amp and one on a 20 amp.
Right.
Well,
So-
verify you can run different voltages, but that would fix the problem.
Yeah, so then that would just take that all out of the. I'll have to see. I mean, all I can do is try it. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to try it.
I'm gonna need psychotropic drugs if this conversation gets deeper.
I hear you. So yeah, I can do that. Oh yeah, it's a 20 amp 247 Hinky. I got a 20 amp one, and the heated bed's not going to use any more than 10 amps. If it does, there's something wrong, right?
Yeah, they're typically like the 3D printers typically come with a 20 amp power supply, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I upgraded the AM8 to a 30.
I think most boards assume that it's going to be 11, somewhere around in there.
I do want to tell those that smoke cigarettes and those that vape, y'all know what happens when you run dry? That hit after you run out of juice or you run out of cigarette? Yeah, it tastes nasty. It's just burning cotton.
Mmm, tasty.
Oh, yeah. Man, what is... This has got to be the slowest print I've ever done on this thing. I'm doing a tool holder, a little tool holder thing on my Hypercube, and it says by the file, I have 25 hours. By filament, I have 63 hours. And by layer, I have 29 hours.
Wow.
And it's just a little bitty, 4x4 tool holder.
I had my 700 out last week, didn't I?
Yes.
That's as big as it's going to get.
It won't get any bigger than that?
No. And that one I had to slash and burn the G code to get it to complete. It's not my best work, but it is done. So I'm calling it good.
I hear you. Carl, no, the Mark 52 comes in two versions. You get either or. And it is marked on here, 12 volts, not 12/24. And you're right, a lot of heaters they'll let you do, it's got the dual contacts on it, but a lot of heaters are built different than the Mark 52 board is. And I tell you what, the speed must be doing pretty good, because it wasn't long after I saw that and I answered it, and then he wrote back. So I've got it on low latency on the stream, so it must be doing pretty good.
And again, Dan from StreamYard said that they had it between 5 and 8 seconds on their end.
Yeah, so I don't know what it actually is, but it's pretty quick. Let me get this off here.
Carl's proud of me for slashing G code. Yeah.
About 9 seconds, Walter. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Chris.
No, that's old school, man. I haven't done that in a while.
Did you use Notepad, Chris?
Of course I did.
That's how I write websites. Notepad++.
I don't. I'm not going to lie. I don't do that crap no more.
I usually start in Notepad with everything.
There's better tools available for that.
Yeah, but then you sound like a developer.
Oh, yeah, you know.
You get lazy if you start using the good tools. By the way, if the buck converter won't tolerate the PWM input signal, then you can always try to put a very big capacitor at the input. I guess that may work, but I've never tried it.
Well, and that may be Rapala Street, but I think the way that I just said to do it would be better. Just feed the bed 12 volts instead of using 24.
Yeah, if that's an option, absolutely, that'd be the way.
If it's an option, there it may not be, because I know isn't there a there's a jumper on the thing to use 12 or 24 volts.
I only have one INC board. It's in my Prusa. That's where it got put when I got it, and I've never taken it out. So I've never really played with it.
Right. Hey, there's RCCNC. Yeah, man, I'm sorry I forgot last night that you were the guy. I did mention it this morning.
Do you have an INC or an INC Retro, Walter?
The one that he's sending me will be an INC, just an INC.
An actual Prusa INC.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah.
5 volt.
So what?
5 volt fans.
Is it 5-volt fans?
If it's an actual Prusa, yeah. I mean, you could hack around it, but by default, those pins are going to be 5 volt.
Okay.
Andrew has asked, does StreamYard work with the OBS panel, programmable camera / logo selector? If you're asking what I think you're asking, yes. You use it's a virtual camera plug-in for OBS, and then you can change your camera like this. Or we can,
Hey, Chris, I'm throwing up a question for you there, bud, on the screen.
EEPROM. Yeah, somebody was complaining about that. So there's boards popping up where they don't have a spot or an allocated memory spot to save EEPROM, and that just sounds like a terrible idea. I'm not sure. I don't know what a lot of these companies are using for default for their firmware on that chip. I don't know if they're going the Marlin route or what's going on, but I still have to investigate that a little more. I'm not sure exactly why this happened, why this route was taken to get around EEPROM. Maybe so that they can take all of the changes out of the user's hands. I don't know, but still got to look into that, because that's getting to be a really popular chip.
Carl, no, there's not a way to compensate the audio delay.
That's what I just typed in there. Not that I've found.
Yeah, the reason that happens is because all the video is going through OBS, but the audio isn't. The audio is going direct. So I think we asked him about that when we had him on here. Then when we had Gage on here, about maybe making a way to adjust that in StreamYard, but I don't know if that's going to be possible.
Yeah.
It's not really that bad.
Chris, are there 2 different types of STM32 chips? He thought he read that somewhere. 2 different variations.
That very well could be. That's like one of the cheapest chips known to man. Who knows? I'm not sure who actually owns it. You know, if it's a TI chip or who came up with that. There very well could be, though. And I mean, there could be completely different types of chips, but then there could be multiple, memory sizes or what. I'd have to look at the chart. I know there's a couple different types of LPC 1768.
Yeah.
There's so many chips that, I really miss the days when everything was a 2560.
I don't.
No respect for the 2560.
Somebody said they hear a squeaking noise. Do you hear it, Glenn, Chris?
Occasionally I do, but I don't know what it is.
Well, I got 2 printers running, so it could be those.
Could be.
I don't hear.
Maybe my chair.
Could be.
It does kind of sound like a chair, yes, a chair suite.
It's when Glenn moves.
It's Glenn squeaking.
It's okay. So I have a new microphone, which might be a little bit more sensitive than my old one. But yeah, my chair does squeak. Might be able to put a little Glenn's joints going, yeah, it's my knees, guys. It's just the sound of my knees and hips.
This thing is just a little out of square somewhere, and I'm not quite sure where it is.
It's your camera setting. I don't, and we didn't tell y'all, but me and Chris both had problems with cameras right before the stream. My computer cut off and then forgot that it had a C9 or the 9930 hooked to it. Come on. This thing is in this back corner. It's giving me a fit every now and again. It sounds like it's the filament stuck. But it's not. It's running, so the heck with it.
There it was again, whatever that was.
That was Glenn sitting down.
Gotcha. Graphite heater block, 40 watts, you get 800C? What? Sign me up. That sounds dangerous.
Man noises.
Yeah, right. Old man noises. That's right. Oh, it happened before he sat down? I don't know what it could be then, unless it's my chair with me moving in it.
I'm gonna just sit really still for a few minutes and then see if it. Sounds like a power screwdriver turning.
Ray Cruz said he was twisting his chair. I don't know. I don't know.
Sounds like styrofoam moving on a smooth table.
I will tell you, one thing I do love about having this the rep box up here and having all these filaments in the MMU2, when I hit print on a single filament, it just lets me select which one I want to use. I love that.
Yeah, and I wish that you could direct it from the slicer. Just go in and say, okay, it's a single color model. I want it on 3, and it'll just go ahead and do it.
Well, you can, if you use the MMU2 setting and you only have a single model, you can just pick it and say, just use this one filament.
And I was going to tell you the other day that might be available now, but it didn't work in Slick 3R, but maybe it does in Prusa Slicer now.
Okay, well, I've actually done that before, where I just selected one filament for all parts.
Yeah,
and it doesn't print a tower or anything. It just prints the model.
Yeah, well, that was it always worked. It just, you still had to hit the button on the front of the printer and say, yeah, this one. But that's good if they fixed it, because that would be much handier.
Mine's still in the box. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet.
Just leave it in the box.
Hey, and Michael Fox asked me, is Bears not moving both of these steppers at the same rate? Any ideas? Check your plug-in, make sure that the plug-in's correct.
Yeah, I would swap some motors around to make sure it's not a motor issue. Like even if you swap the two and see if the problem changes side to side, because that sounds like possibly a bad stepper.
The giant benchy came from the Folgertech FT6. What do you say? Not moving at the same rate. Dude,
Yeah.
does the Bear doesn't use 2 motors on the same axis with different drivers, does it?
No. Same driver. It should be converting a Mark III or a Mark IIS. So they both use the same drivers, right?
Yeah, as long as it's INC. Right, yeah. That's one of my favorite comments that I've been getting in videos lately. You can use the E1 extruder as a driver for your Z motor. Yeah, I know that. But unless you have some really awesome drivers, you don't know the pain of the current being just a little bit different and it staggers them.
Yeah, why would you want them individual?
I used a parallel cable, and on the SKR it only has one Z port, so I used a parallel cable to split it out into two, which I probably should have used a serial cable, but I really didn't care. But they said, well, you should have used E1 and put another driver on it. And I'm like, well, you can do that, but unless you have two end stops, it gets really ugly.
Yeah. Well, and you could even run into the same situation where as it gets higher, it's getting more and more out of.
Right. Yeah, you possibly definitely could.
Walter's having his own little private conversations going on here.
No, they're asking me if I need any more parts for the bear. I put this question up there for you and Chris to look at and see if y'all have any input.
The way you answer that question, though, is yes. You don't ever turn down stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I'm doing.
Greedy greenhorn. Just going to print, and the filament is stuck in the nozzle. Tried heating/filament change command. No luck. Normally, it just pulls right out at 210. Is it actually stuck in the nozzle?
It's probably stuck in the brake.
What printer? What printer and what filament at 210? I'd crank it up. If it's PLA, I'd take it to about 240.
Yeah, I took mine up to like 285 the other day and then cleaned it.
I like when that happens. I like to just put a screwdriver in the fan, the cooling fan, the heat break fan, and get it up to about 400 degrees. No, I'm completely kidding. Don't do that.
He said it's a Wanhao duplicator.
I don't know. I don't know what the hot end looks like on that.
Rapolis. Chris lives where there's not much humidity, so no, you don't have no problem with that.
Was it talking about leaving filament out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, Hinky, up your temperature a little bit. Take it to about 240 and see if you can get it to move. But it sounds like you had heat creep and it got stuck in the actual brake itself.
So a duplicator is MK8 style.
Yeah.
And it has a real and it's got a Mark 10 nozzle. So it's the PTFE tube that actually sets inside the nozzle, the real big fat one.
Right.
It's like 11 millimeter or something like that. So if you don't get it nice and hot and push down and extrude like you should, and then get it out quick, it'll cool in that brake, and then it's almost impossible to get it out. The nice thing about Wanhao, though, they send you these wires. It's like 1.5 millimeters or something like that. And I'm not going to recommend this move. Don't do this. Don't do this. But I have been known to heat this up with a torch and then throw it down in there and melt that filament and rip it back out. But be very, very careful if you try to do that.
Yeah. Well, also, if you can, like, if it won't move, if you up your temperature and it won't move, heat it up and take the nozzle off.
Yeah.
And then try to force it down. You know, you can clip the filament and try forcing it down through with a like a 1.5 millimeter Allen key. I've got a T-handled one that I use to jam down through there.
And if you go back and watch, I don't remember what stream it was. I think it was Thursday's stream on mine. That's exactly what I had to do. I actually, like I said, heated mine up to 289 and then just stuck the wire in it and then pushed filament down in through without using the extruder, just pushed the filament down through there. And at 289 degrees, it'll melt pretty much anything that's there.
Yeah, I do know that you should never take a brass nozzle to a power wire brush to clean the crap off of it, because you clean the whole right out of it.
Did you turn a 0.4 into a 1.2 in a hurry?
No, I turned a 0.4 into a 0. It completely just covered the hole. There was no longer any way to use it.
One of those rods are a little different length.
No.
I don't even remember where I got these from. Yeah, that's a 331. And that's a 330. 3D printing is awesome.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's just hard. Oh, it only lets you go to 260. 260 is fine. That should melt PLA and PETG to a point where it liquefies.
You probably just see smoke.
Yeah, right?
But you get that popcorn cotton candy smell that I love so much.
You know, I was thinking about it since I'm building this bear and they're sending me the stuff to move it to an INZ Rambo. I have my Rambo and the frame and everything for the other printer, so I can just turn around and build that printer back together after I buy some more motors and stuff.
There you go.
But you know, Chris, we talked about the Pan Cup backpack the other day on the phone when I called you.
Uh-huh.
The what?
Right. The Pan Cup backpack.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi backpacks.
The Wi-Fi backpack.
I don't even know what that is.
It's, well, you don't watch Chris's videos then.
No, I really don't.
Stop watching.
But I when I watched this video on it, and I remembered that the other day because I was like, well, while I'm building this bear, I could put that in there because it sandwiches between the LCD and the cables, right, Chris? Doesn't it go over the serial connections there?
Right. So, and I can just show you real quick. So it's one of these deals. So this side will plug into a full graphic or 2004. It's got both settings for it. And then you plug in your wires on this side, and it uses that serial connection to enable ESP8266. I think that's the one it is. But it has software on it that looks a whole lot like what you'd see on a Duet. You do have to have some UART pins, which are sometimes hard to find on boards. But it's pretty cool, and they're only like $16. So
Interesting.
yeah,
But
it's kind of a neat device.
What I called Chris to ask him about the other day was what we were talking about with the Mark III. When you do a single extruder print with the MMU2, you have to select which filament you use. And if there was an interface where you could select that remotely, that would be awesome, but you can't. You can hit it. You can put the files. That's about it. So, I mean, there's no way for a single, you can't just say print and go, because then it's going to ask you which filament to use. And it would just be cool if you could do that through that interface.
Yeah.
There's a question for you, Chris. I've never done a cold pull on any of my printers, so.
The atomic pull. After we cold pull, I see the end of the filament just stretched out. Later, figuring out that there's some leftover filament in the nozzle. Can you explain why this happens? Yeah, you and Todd kind of fills that in. So if you're doing a cold pull, you really need to. So you're printing with PLA all the time, right? If you're doing a cold pull, you should really use something like nylon. Because one, you can't break it. You can pull on nylon all day and it won't snap. But yeah, too high. So when you start the pull, run it up to 210 or 2, depending on what you're using. When it starts to extrude, pull it up high and then bring it down to about 70 or something, and then try to pull it out.
Yeah, I'll get it up hot and get my nylon or whatever jammed down in there. I'll let it go completely cold, and then I'll tell it to heat to 100. And when it gets up to about 65, 70 degrees, I'll start to kind of pull on it as it's climbing, and then at some point you'll be able to pull it out of there.
Yeah, that's
usually under 90 degrees.
Yep.
Chris Lane has joined us.
Hello.
Is watching Tom's stream. Look, this is unacceptable that other people are streaming in our window.
The only time I can ever get nylon to break, so it's annoying with MMU2. Huh. MMU2, it depends which brake you have, because there's a 2 and a 2.2. 2.2 might not be so forgiving. That's what all the kerfuffle is about with Prusa and E3D.
Clint, I'm pretty sure you can flash to whatever you want on that board, whether it be Marlin 2 or SmoothieWare. If you go to Marlin 2 and don't like it, then I'm pretty sure you can go right back to SmoothieWare. I don't know why it would prevent you from flashing back to SmoothieWare.
Yeah, you should be able to go back and forth, no problem. The Smoothie MKS base, I don't know if SmoothieWare supports MKS, or maybe they got a 32-bit. Probably that's probably what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what comes on the TiVo Little Monster originally is an MKS based board.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about that. And every time somebody says MKS, I always think 1.4, and I never remember they have a 32.
Right. Oh man, I'm still tired from yesterday.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna just slip Xander's link into the into the chat again. For any of you guys that haven't subscribed, we'd love for you to go do it.
I didn't see it, Glenn.
It's there. Unless you got me muted. I don't even have a wrench. Why am I not a mod on your channel?
I don't know.
Well, there was that one time.
In fact, I don't.
Well,
oh yeah.
Now I do know that somehow or another you got unsubscribed like a couple months ago and then resubscribed. So yeah, it probably took your wrench from you.
No, you know what? It's posting as me, not as Fun King.
Oh, that means you're logged into the wrong place.
Yeah,
That's the wrong thing.
that's all right. I mean, but that would explain the lack of wrench.
Yes. Yes, it would. I believe it is, Tristan. I think it was the 1.2 or 1.3 was not. There's Thomas, 3D Print Vikings in the house. Got to meet him on the stream last night.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know if I've been on a stream where he was on or not, but yeah.
You know who I haven't seen much out of lately is Arduino Makes Thomas.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while either. Where did you find the black T-shirt? I have a supplier. I buy them by the hundred.
247 Hinky, don't unplug your fan on your hot end.
No, yeah, don't do that. I was only kidding when I said that.
Yeah, don't do that. He said he tried 260 and it didn't work. So what's up, Red Light? Christoph? Everybody coming over from Tom's stream. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, so he tried 260 and it didn't work, but you got to realize that you raise that up and you have to let it set because you're relying on the heat creep effect. So
yeah, you need to creep it up.
Right, you're gonna have to let it sit there and climb up.
If you stop the fan, you're gonna get heat creep, but chances are you're gonna break something in the process. So don't do that.
Right. Yeah. Leave the fan on. It'll still. You got to let it set, but it'll still creep at 260. Pretty easy.
Oh, Clint said the MKS base is an 8-bit board. The MKS S base is the 32-bit board.
There you go.
You guys are so awesome, Xander. He just said, "Yes, I know." You're making the little man's day. He spent the whole day yesterday watching Social Blade, and I had only posted it out to Twitter. Like, now you got to make content. Can anyone explain what is the best way to attach a servo arm to a 3D printed part? Those servo arms have very small holes which don't fit any bolts. No, you can get some, what is it? Is it a 2 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter screw?
Yeah.
That you can screw through those and into a printed part. Or you can model the printed part to take the servo arm embedded down in there, and then some super glue should hold it.
This is the best method I've ever found. You buy these oversized arms, and then you model your part around that because they're real cheap.
Blow him up, Walter, so we can see that.
I am. That's what I'm doing.
So you buy these oversized arms, and they attach a lot better, and they've got a lot larger hole, and then model your part around that. I've done a couple of projects like this, and that's by far the best way I can figure out how to do it.
Very cool.
Sweet. Good answer, Chris.
Yeah, Xander, good content, not that gassy content. Because I said you have to make content now. But Mike 8 said, good content, not gassy content. Xander's new channel is Peg Leg Paul, which don't search that because you end up on somebody else's right now until we can secure the actual name. But it's a gaming channel because that's all he ever does. So, and that's the link. And then he's also got, I should forward fartgenerator.com over to peglegpaul.com.
Yeah, 3D Print Viking. That's correct.
I will never be done with this project. It's an ongoing project.
Carl said he better not make 100 in a day. It took me 2 months to get there. Well, it wouldn't be a day. We started it yesterday. So it might take 3 days for him to get there, Carl.
Rapala Street, yes, they have bigger holes in them.
Yeah, basically, I can get you a link to that probably.
Yeah, 3D Jimmy is right. Peg Leg Paul, no spaces. It's the one with the Jolly Roger. I drew that Jolly Roger a bazillion years ago for the use. My best friend at the time was living in a neighborhood that his neighbors didn't really like him because he didn't like keep his grass cut and stuff. So I made him a pirate flag to hang outside. The house had a flagpole, so we made a Jolly Roger and ran it up the flagpole. Don't cut your grass and fly the Jolly Roger. That's how you make friends in the neighborhood.
Heck with it. I'm going to let it print. There you go, Rapala Street. There's the answer to your question. Robert V-Line joined us.
Yeah, it seems like it took me forever to get to 100. I don't even know how long it was, but it was a while.
It was Joel. It was the Joel effect that got me. He took us from like 32 subscribers to 75 overnight with one Facebook post. And then, of course, he's known to have taken us from 347 to 5,500 in the course of a weekend.
I didn't realize. So I was watching videos, and that video came up in the cycle where the 5 channels to watch video that Joel did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't realize that Hawk 3D Proto was another one of those channels.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize that.
He hasn't been around lately either, has he?
I haven't seen Ben in a long time.
Well, anybody out there that has a YouTube channel that's 3D printing related, because that's the only ones I subscribe to, please email me would probably be the easiest way. email me a link to Glenn with 2 N's, GLENN, at funking3d.com so that I can make sure that I subscribe to you guys. You got to spoon feed me everything. I'm really lazy, but I'm subscribed to like almost 300 3D printing YouTube channels now, but I've been on one of Joel's videos and it was all because of a bad joke with a foot. I'm not sure if I want to know that story, but Poppy Ron is in the house.
He's a Twitcher now. That doesn't sound right.
Is that like having a drug problem? But I mean, he doesn't come to see us even, you know, it's not,
Yeah.
we haven't seen his content. He hasn't been in to see us.
Talking about a tweaker or Twitcher.
Tweaker. That's the term I was thinking of, tweaker.
I saw a funny meme on Facebook the other day. It said it's no longer politically correct to call a tweaker a tweaker. Now they're called Mexican Americans.
That's pretty funny.
Come on. The first one looks good. Second one doesn't.
Chris Lane asked what games is Xander going to put on his channel. Anything but Fortnite. Xander's not allowed to play Fortnite. We went through that for a while, but he kind of became a jerk. His attitude changed like day and night difference, and so we banned Fortnite from the house. But he does a lot of Roblox and Minecraft, and eventually we will get him into playing some other stuff. I've got to put a different video card in his computer. His video card's not strong enough. The test video we shot today was real choppy. It was not quite a slideshow, but it was definitely not as good as it should be. So
Kept hearing bumping noises outside, and I look at the radar, and it's rain. You wouldn't know. It's thunder.
Fortnite jerk. Fortnitejerk.com. I wonder if that's taken. Xander said probably. Alien Josh said, be right back. Horses need fed. You should do that before the stream.
Yeah, we really should have done that about 3:30, man. Chris Lane, it depends on how long you lived in Florida, because when I was growing up, you could pretty much set your watch by it every afternoon. It would rain every day. And it's pretty much getting back into that rotation. So, yeah, I can't say it's raining more than it used to, because it's really not. Well, yeah, Rapala Street, that would have been the first thing I tried.
Yeah, take a Dremel and a little drill bit and just
drill it out. Oh, yeah, compared to recent ones. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate that, my friend.
look at that, throwing you down $10.
I know, right? And it's pretty cool. This is one reason on this stream I'm not using the restream, because it actually shows those comments here where restream does not.
Highlight that up on the screen.
Well, I can highlight it, but it doesn't highlight
There
in
you
the
go.
thing.
No, but at least it shows up on the screen.
That's right. I do appreciate it, man. Every little bit helps. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Still trying to put together how I'm going to pay for Earth.
Yeah, you and me both, brother. But I think I have absolutely decided that we're flying. We're going to fly to most likely to Uncle Ron, and then.
Yeah, no, I'm flying. I'm not driving. Regina's not going. I'm flying.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, because if you were driving, I was going to get you the banner and stuff and have you bring it up, but I'll just box it and
Yeah, no, we're Regina's not going to be able to go, so it's just going to be me, and it's just cheaper to fly.
It is. It is much cheaper to fly up into that area. past years, ants came into the house looking for water. This year, they come into the house to avoid the floods.
Yeah, right. Clint, I use 4. I have 3 sitting in a row, and then I've got a TV up above, which right now I'm only using 2 of them. So,
I use 7. No, I have 3 as well.
Chris, you use a big TV monitor in front, and then how many computer screens do you have?
Yeah, I got the TV and I got 2 monitors.
Okay.
Stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, I've thought about mounting a monitor above the camera so that I can have the chat up there, so that it's more like looking at the camera instead of always staring over here.
Right. Well, see, and that's the cool thing. I took I had my camera mounted on a little tripod sitting in front of the monitor, and it was fine when I was using OBS. I could move it over to the side, so it was kind of where the 2 monitors meet,
right,
and it wasn't in the way. But since I'm using this StreamYard now, it's right in front of my monitor. So now I'm just using the actual monitor clip that it just sits on top of the monitor with.
Yeah. Well, that's how we did it. That's how we did it when we were in that area, the original studio. The camera originally sat on the monitor, and then I ended up making a rigging out of PVC pipe to move it a little higher and a little bit more back to get more angle because of both of us being in the video. When we used to shoot over there, we sat like so tight to each other, like we were like touching each other the whole time just so that we could both be in the video. I miss that, Xander. The one that wanted to make videos with me.
Yeah, just wait. You're going to miss this one soon, too.
I don't know. This one's been a teenager for about 4 years now.
Yeah. It gets worse before it gets better.
The video I'm on is Wavy Wednesday, and go to 508. Then you can see the bad joke I pulled. I'm gonna copy that so I can go find it later.
Okay, now there's the noise.
What was that?
That's got to be microphone noise.
It's got to be.
Sounds like interference.
I don't hear anything.
It's not me. I'm muted, so it's your mic then. Glenn.
Is it doing it still?
No, it quit, but it ramped up like a jet engine.
It's still you can kind of hear it. It's real high pitched.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm old. I don't get high pitch anymore.
Could you still hear it? I had my mic muted.
You can hear it right now. Not now.
Now?
Now.
Okay, so it's mine. All right, I'll switch mics.
Yeah. Yeah, Xander didn't keep his mic, did he, Glenn? No, I didn't think so. Yeah, it's gone. It's gone with your mic off.
I swear the technology for this stuff never gets any easier.
I know, right? Oh, what, for printers or for streaming?
No, for streaming. It's like, I have a setup that I think works, and then one day it just all goes to hell.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. I wonder how that looks. Let's see. Oh, I don't have it on here. Why don't I have it on here? I thought I did. Nope. Okay, then. Yeah, no, I could do that too, Chris Lane, up into my 30s, into my late 30s. But here the past couple of years, they've just kind of disappeared. Thank you, Chris Gulato. Let me pop this down here. Share this with Swamp Guy Larry. I will. I appreciate that $10. I definitely will share it with him.
You buy that guy a beer and calm him down.
Is the noise gone?
No, I still hear the same. Can you hear it, Chris?
No.
Okay, now it's not. But I could have swore when he first turned it on, I heard the same thing. Huh.
Now, I'll have to do more testing. Again, this was the first time that I've used this mic set, so might have to do more testing. This is a $500 microphone set.
Wow.
Michael Fox, are you sure I didn't subscribe as myself? I just subscribed as Kuntry 3D. It's all in my head. I'm sure. Viking, I'm sure. Glenn, I walked over here last night to check to start a new print for my daughter, and I jumped on the Buttram stream, and they asked me, I was all red in the face, asked me why. There was a cottonmouth laying in the path on the way over here.
Oh.
So I ran around it.
Well, I heard that those won't mess with you unless you try to kiss them on the lips.
That's a lie. But that guy was an idiot too.
So I want to ask Michael Fox something. He says that you never subscribe to his channel. How do you know? I don't get to see everybody that subscribes to my channel. If they have their stuff set to private.
Yeah, mine's not though. I didn't subscribe as Kuntry 3D. I don't know if I did as Walter or not. I'll have to look. Yep, now I'm there. But yeah,
I wasn't subscribed either, so now I am. But you better make good content, or I'm going to delete you. No. Xander said I have to delete him soon. Then,
Since I haven't been making content, as feverishly as I had been, I find myself needing more stuff to watch on YouTube. So I get upset when nobody makes content.
like all of a sudden you have free time.
Yeah, it's like, what? Nobody made anything today? What?
yeah. I watched one I got on some dude's channel last night, and it's just random YouTube videos. It's like his streams are his videos are like 17 or 18 minutes long, and it's just made up of random YouTube videos from the web. Most of them are short, funny things to watch. But
Rapolis, those brass pieces are spacers. They go in on the end of the servo where the screws go through. They go through there so that you can mount the servo with a really fine screw. Because like in airplanes and stuff, when you're building RC airplanes, where the screw goes into isn't necessarily the beefiest. So you mount the servo with a really tiny little screw. So it's just kind of a bushing.
Hopefully I've got this lined up now. It's really hard to level things against a really curvy piece of wood.
but you have a steel bar.
Well, so on the Mark II design where you're trying to get the gantry, even in the back so that it hits all the spots in a straight line. Well, the wood's actually kind of like that. and you've got it pressed with a couple of giant washers, and it's been there a while. So it's interesting.
Well, you can't see it, but just out of camera right over here is where I had the A-net and all back here. But I put I had stackable lac tables. Well, one of them was sitting in the puddle where the air conditioner was leaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into the extensions anymore. So it's just kind of sitting on top of it.
Mad Mike 8 said, I'd like to see Glenn make some printing content. Me too. No, it's gonna happen. It'll take a couple weeks to get ramped up, but it's gonna happen. And Sergio, I just subscribed to your channel as well. I'm telling you, if you guys have 3D printing related channels that that you don't think that I've subscribed to, you just shoot me an email with a link. Spoon feed me.
Hey, and if y'all don't think I'm subscribed to your channel and you want me to be, send Glenn an email and he'll let me know.
I like to just randomly go in and subscribe, Walter, to different channels that have nothing to do with 3D printing. He gave me his password one time so I could stream from his channel. So now I go in and randomly subscribe him to things.
One of these days, I'm gonna talk Chris into doing that.
Yeah,
doing a country time video.
It is bigger than it's taller than it. But it's probably longer than it.
Yeah, Rapala Street asked earlier, where did it come from? It come off the FT6 after some tender loving care.
Yeah. I don't want to tease the people in the chat, but you know, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes to make content, right? Tons of stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, hours of working on things and many, many mishaps. But some of those mishaps would be completely crippling to some companies.
Yeah.
And I had one this week that was completely terrifying. The company has resolved it, and I can't mention what it was, but wow. And it was what made me think of it was this giant benchy, because that's kind of what caused the hack failure. So yeah, just know that when you're making content, things get ramped up really quick and could possibly injure you.
Oh yeah.
Now you have to tell us. You'll know eventually, but it.
Hey, I think you're right, Clint. I think that's exactly what Glenn needs to do, is make a benchy the size of the FK1 and make a video about it.
I'll tell you what, when that day occurs, and hopefully it'll be sooner rather than later, that benchy will be bigger than Chris's.
Well, listen, I will have my second Stargate done before you get that done.
Is that a challenge? Will you have the first Stargate done?
And that's what I'm saying. I will have my second one done before you do that, because you've been saying you were going to do that forever.
I know. Well, then the whole change came. Like, it's printing good. Like, it prints well, but not well enough for me. You know, like, I look at Chris's benchy, and that looks like crap. I mean, you know, it's got huge gaps in it and stuff. I can't have that. My benchy has to be perfect.
And Carl said he'll print a longer benchy than yours.
Yeah, but you have to be able to print it to proper dimensions. You can't vary the dimensions.
Well, he could do that. He'd just have to split it into parts and then glue it together.
Well, anybody could do that. I could do that on my Prusa or my A8.
Yeah, but that'd be a lot of parts.
Whatever.
A lot of parts.
Gloves are off.
There you go. I think I want to settle for that. That looks pretty good.
Tristan, that's awesome. The only thing is, it's got to be a Mark 52 for the software to work for the bear. I'd have to redo Marlin and do all of that stuff.
Don't let Walter fool you. Second Stargate is coming through first Stargate.
That's right. It's just going to show up. I guess I can go ahead and put these springs on a platter and slice them and have them ready, so that when this finishes in 15 minutes, I'll be able to do that. And I'm printing these out of Prusa PLA. Well, not really, but that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some testing on those mics. That bothers me that there's an issue with it. I have high hopes for those.
I don't know how many times I've compiled this firmware, but it's getting to be like 20 or 30.
Oh, wait, that's not what I wanted. Close that. All right, so I can have multiples of this.
Multiples of what?
Never let the machines win. Mike is here. Hello, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Now, this might kill my video while I'm doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to slice the file while we're talking.
Dave Avery, their Comica, COMICA. It's a set that comes with one receiver and two transmitters, and it comes in this awesome knockoff Pelican case.
So, question for you, Glenn.
Sir,
Is it a USB microphone or is it a SLR
it's is it SLR
or a quarter inch?
It's a microphone jack.
Yeah, SLR. Yeah.
Is that SLR?
Isn't it SLR, Chris? I think I got that right.
I thought SLR was a type of camera.
XLR.
XLR.
There you go.
XLR. There you go. Sorry, my bad. It's been a long time since I had to deal with it.
It can be either. It comes with an adapter to go from a headphone to go from 1/8-inch headphone to the XLR, or it comes with just like an auxiliary. So it can be either, but I run it into my mixer. I run a mixer because Xander and I having individual mics, and he doesn't talk nearly as loud as I do. But this setup allows you to adjust in the receiver. You can adjust the channels individually. So, and they're heavy. I mean, they're metal cased. They're built well, but I mean, if there's going to be an issue, and it could be something as stupid as a bad microphone. So,
Yeah, I mean, it could, or a low battery or something.
Yeah, they're rechargeable. Now, the downside, like, it's Unit A and Unit B, but they're not marked. You can select them internally, so you never know which one. And it could maybe there was something. This is B. There could be something in the house that was affecting it too, causing feedback. So I haven't tried playing with frequencies and stuff. How is that big fat connector better than a 3.5 millimeter jack? Well, it depends on the equipment you're going into, but for me, it's because that's what my mixer takes. So, because you can plug it into a Marshall stack and crank it to 11. I haven't. I mean, it's reading that the battery is full. I didn't charge these beforehand because they're both reading full.
The model has errors on it. So,
What model?
the spring model for the rep box rewinder.
Yes, the XLR is a balanced connector.
Right.
No, I'll figure out what's going on with it. I'll just randomly record me yelling at Xander or something and see if it's picking up the feedback. And Dave Avery, what city am I near? Probably the one that everybody would know would be Orlando. I'm closer to Gainesville.
Closer to Gainesville than you are. I thought you're almost dead middle, right? Between Gainesville and Orlando?
Yeah, I can make it to Gainesville faster. But I was impressed how quick I can get to Tampa. I can make it to Tampa in about the same amount of time that I can make it to Orlando.
Yeah. Hey, I clicked on this triangle with the exclamation point, and it's repairing the model by the NetFab service.
Well, that's nice.
I haven't ever had to use that.
Return it if the problem continues and get a Shure ULXD. How much is that? And usually anything with the name Shure on it, I can't afford.
Yeah, Michael Fox. I know. You can't see the logos on the side of it, but you know, my ego doesn't need stroking like that every day.
Yeah, me either. I would never put my logo just blazing anywhere.
Whatever. Is that Fun King halo you got above your head? Is that it?
There it is. It's perfect. It's beautiful. It levels in all the right spots.
You know, this beautiful banner that I have back here was courtesy of Michael Cassell.
Oh, nice.
Patrick Nienhoff said that NetFab service is great. I have set it up on my spare Windows PC. As on the Mac, that service is not available.
Yeah, I guess there's something with Microsoft. You get that license included in your Windows license, and you can't have it in Linux or Mac.
Huh.
Be thankful, Walter. Halo could be a Benji hat. Hey, I haven't given up on the Benji hat idea.
Yeah, I put 4 of these springs on the plate, and it's just hanging on generating perimeters.
Oh, yeah. No, you just got to let it run, man. It'll run for half hour trying to make those springs.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let it run.
ULXD manufacturer suggested price is $1,320. That is way outside my budget.
Hey, Clint, I'll be looking for one of those in the mail, buddy. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Let me tell you about the fine $30 ones that I used for the first year of my existence on YouTube.
This one right here is a fine that's on my hat.
I also want to ask, what professional 3D printer would you suggest to buy? Under €2,500 or $2,781? I mean, professional by endurance printing 24/7 without affecting the print quality.
I mean,
anybody want to take a stab at that?
I'd buy 2 Prussias or 3.
I'm telling you, man. I mean,
5. I mean, if that mine has been nonstop for 2 years now. I mean, I say that it's not printing now, but
and Prusa prints all their stuff on Prusa printers, and they run 24/7.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, they got 500 of them that
wearing out nozzles. I mean, you're going to wear out nozzles, so I mean, you might as well do it.
Wayne said mine, but it's not out yet.
Oh yeah, I can see the stutter in my video too with this using processor power.
Yeah, I can see it too. Yeah, Venturi 3D's printer, but and it's only $2,780.
Oh, Clint said he don't think his boss would like that. Well, you know what he doesn't know won't hurt him.
Yeah, right. Maybe you got one sitting around that's dirty or something, and you know.
Right. You know that was a used one.
By the way,
you were
use the
cleaning it and spilt water, you know, whatever.
He said, by the way, you can't use the ones we have. We use 220 volt. I just so happen to have 220 volt right there. Right there. I'm sure Chris isn't far from 220 volts either.
Nope. I can whip that up pretty quick.
I'm actually going to cancel this slicing because it's killing my video. Plus, Glenn's audio just broke up for me. So it's taking way too much processing power.
You don't like Cartesian ones. You mean i3s?
No, I didn't go that far, Carl. No 3-phase here.
Yeah, when I dropped off the slicing, I went from 100% CPU to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that spring, all those curves are really taxing on my computer.
Now, did you print one at a time, or did you print?
I think the most I did was 3. I think I did 3 at one time.
It might be able to handle one at a time, so I could at least start one while it was slicing the next one.
Yeah.
Because I need 5, so.
Yeah, that's i3.
Cause it what? I thought you over-engineered everything. Well, I do have 400 amps of service coming into the house.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this many times, but if you're looking for 3D printers or whatever, we always say Prusa Mark IIIs. It's because there's a huge hole in the market. From Prusa at $1,000 built all the way up to, Ultimate Machine S5 at what, $6,000-$7,000.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of a wasteland of wasting your money, basically.
And honestly, I don't think you're going to get into a professional printer for $3,000. I don't think it's going to happen.
Just get a rail core.
Yeah,
that would have been my next thought, is a rail core. Then the bed doesn't move; it just goes down. Or you build an FK1, the bed doesn't move at all. Of course, right now nothing on the printer's moving at all.
Ha! 260 plus the wife's sewing needle, heated with lighter equals extraction. Woohoo!
Excellent.
Excellent. Nicely done.
What? They are not efficient in print volume to physical size?
He's talking about i3s.
Oh. Well, go look at the rail core.
Yeah, I mean, you want to throw. You can talk to guys that build professional printers. Like the guys at IC3D or Daniel Halverson, or guys that actually create these machines that cost tens of thousands of dollars. And really, I mean, they're big, they're heavy. Some of them use servos. You got ball lead screws, blah blah blah, on and on and on. But really, to me, what professional means is some guy comes out and fixes it.
Right.
Yeah, the Maytag man.
Yeah. I mean, well, unless we were talking like SLS, an actual laser sintering system that costs, $50,000. I would call that professional. If you can do titanium powder, then it's a professional 3D printer.
Chris Lane said, for what's available right now, Railcore is nice, though. It's apparently quite a kit to build. But doesn't Project Red, doesn't Joe offer them built?
Yep. I believe they have the built ones, not the kits. So.
Yes, IC3D does have some crazy huge printers, but they don't sell them.
Right.
Right.
Just gonna slip.
And if you don't like any of those, just build a custom one.
Just gonna slip that link in there again for anybody that hasn't gone over and checked out Xander's new YouTube channel. That Adam Savage Iron Man suit was epic. You know what blew my mind on that was the fact that it was bulletproof.
Yeah.
I mean, I print stuff and hope it doesn't break apart when I take the supports off of it. And like they 3D print something that won't be penetrated by a .45 caliber.
One thing that was really cool that I thought was really cool was in that video, they said that it really wouldn't be feasible to wear for very long because of the way they had the shins designed. And I looked at the movie, and sure enough, man, it looks like his shins bend in a backwards curve.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really weird. I mean, the video was cool and all, but it's not a practical suit.
Well, I'll tell you the thing that got me in that video. Well, one, they didn't talk about what it cost to print that, and from what I hear, it was like $150,000 worth of 3D printing. But the one thing that got me was that that the studio sent over the actual files for the suit. And I'm like, how do I get on that mailing list?
Right.
You know, I'd like to have the files for the suit, you know?
But it was a $250,000 print. 250 grand.
Thank you, Joe.
I couldn't do that.
And what I thought was really funny was that they have these titanium parts and they bring out this ancient metal punch to put holes in it. That's all they could find, right?
That's a Harbor Freight tool. I have one of those. They're like, you know, they put a pipe on it. Why didn't they just model the holes into it?
Well, that killed me. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and then held it together with aluminum rivets.
247 Hinky, I leave my filament in my printers all the time. I don't take it out when I'm done printing, but that's completely up to you.
I never leave my filament on my printer.
Okay. I think that roll's been on the AM8 for like a year and a half now.
It's been a while. Since before Murph, because the last thing I printed on that was the piece for the big alien.
Right.
Josh's 12-foot alien.
Oh man, it knocked over my parts there at the end, so the little supports didn't finish. So I have to print those by themselves. Dang it. Everything else printed out fantastically though. So
Ben E. Brady said, "How do we get some of that action? What action?"
I think he's talking about the Iron Man suit.
Oh yeah, definitely. I want in on that action.
Dadgummit.
MakerBot is not recommended by 90% of the community, if I was to guess. Well, I have a MakerBot sitting down there. I haven't even touched it since it got here. The library had it for 5 years now. They've never had a successful print off of it. Yeah, there's some good Iron Man suit models out there to download, but I would love to have the actual design files. Which it's amazing that they wouldn't release something like that. It's not, you know, like obviously, you know, it's intellectual property, but the thing is you're not going to get those files, make your own suit, and have an Iron Man movie,
right?
You know, like let the fans have the files to do what they want to do, just like Lucas does with the R2D2s and all of that. I don't even know if you'd have to go metal infused filaments, Chris. I mean, I don't plan to get shot at.
Well, you never plan on it, but it'd be nice to have the protection.
Well, I hope if I'm ever getting shot at, I'm not wearing Iron Man armor. Because you can't really move around in that. Paul Cumber says he still likes his Batman. Oh, Ben said, I don't want the files. I want the money to print it. Yeah, all of that was donated. The companies with the titanium printers donated all the printing time, and it was like 2 months worth.
Yeah. David, no, the ones that I printed standing up, that's the way they were imported, and that's the way they're made to be printed. I thought, but I see a flat side on them, so I get your point. So yeah, I need to put these on the bed flat and print them that way.
Sergio, I'm shooting for a whole bookcase, not just a roll of books. I'm shooting for the whole bookcase for you, brother. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to print a nameplate and then go to the library one day and just stick it on with nobody knowing and see how long it takes them to realize I did it. Or I'll put it on the room where the printer is. I'll have it like the Sergio 3D printing hall or something, and just stick it on the door. Glenn, send me the maker box. I'll pay the shipping. I'd consider it a personal challenge to get a benchy out of it. Yeah, I don't know if I could get away with doing that. Picture, it didn't have. Oh, I would definitely get a picture of it.
Ooh, speaking of maker box, I've still got one that has candy in it. I gotta get that.
I have a maker box I haven't unboxed yet. It just arrived. I'm sad about my microphone.
You're sad about your microphone.
Yeah, I wonder if that's where the squeak was coming from.
Probably. I haven't heard it since.
I mean, the idea behind this is like, so Earth, you put the receiver right on the camera, and then whoever you're interviewing, you can both be wearing a microphone.
Right.
Paul, I do. Actually, it's on a shelf downstairs.
I wouldn't say MakerBot was crap. I wouldn't go that far, but
no, it became very proprietary.
It's extremely proprietary, and it's really overpriced.
Yeah, this one was like $3,500 new. It's heavy. If it's sold by weight and not by volume, you get your money's worth. But the filament is stored in this rack back here, and these spools are real narrow. They're only like two inches wide, so you have to use their filament. And as I understand, the later models didn't the spools have like an RFID or something in them? So you had to use their brand of filament.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure if MakerBot did that. I know XYZ does.
And then, I mean, for those that have never put their hands on one of these, and I don't know if I can, well, maybe if I change cameras. It's a smart extruder. It just pops off, which is kind of weird. So it's got contacts, and then it uses magnets. It's got 4 magnets that hold the thing on, which is kind of cool. But they gave me when they sent the printer home, they tried to make me take the whole entire box that it came in too, and I wouldn't take all that. But it had this box, which is 4 additional smart extruders. This one's not even been opened.
Clint, I do not. I wish I had a small mixer, but no. Currently, I'm just using USB. Chris, what about you?
Yes, I have a mixer down over there somewhere that my microphone plugs into, and then I use the control room out to go into the computer.
How come you use the control? Oh, maybe mine's just labeled different. Because mine's got an out, and then it's got a monitor.
That's it, the monitor.
Yeah, the only reason why I use the control is because it's RCA.
Yeah, mine comes out as stereo RCA, and it goes from two mono RCAs to a 1/4 inch to an 1/8 inch stereo. And again, the only reason I use a mixer is because Xander talks so much quieter than I do, and by having to have the 2 microphones, it lets me up his preamp and tone mine down.
And see, I would love to. I'd love to have a mixer that could take a couple microphones in, because when Regina comes over here, it's just relying on my microphone. So
right. Well, this one wasn't too bad. I want to say it was like $80, but I could be wrong. It was a couple years ago I bought it. But
right.
See if I can find that. I can't believe how cheap solid state hard drives have gotten.
I know it.
I just bought one for my laptop for $40, and it's like a brand new laptop now. Oh yeah, $66 right now, Walter,
For what?
for that mixer.
Which mixer?
It's a 2-channel. How do you say that? Behringer.
Behringer, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to throw the link into the chat. I'm pretty sure I paid more than that for it, but
Doing well, Paul.
yeah, $65.99.
That's not bad. I had a 24 channel Behringer whenever I was DJing. This is ridiculous, man. I do not know what's going on. This thing, I know this print's going to fail, and it's filament. It's some cheap gold filament I got from somewhere.
Did you get the Slice Engineering 50 watt? So that thing's pretty cool.
Rapolis, you're just going to have to do your homework, bud. Just look around and then look up reviews of those printers.
Yeah, because that's at a low. I mean, I personally wouldn't spend $2,200 on a printer.
I wouldn't either.
I don't have a need for a $2,200 printer.
The way I feel about it is you're going to work really hard to spend $2,500 on a printer, and you're going to get less machine if you do purchase it.
Right. You could take that $2,500 and build the machine you want to build.
Yeah.
That's what Glenn did.
Just
Yeah. I don't know how much it was.
Well, no, I'm not saying you spent $2,500. I'm just saying you took the money.
Yeah, I don't want
You
to.
designed a printer and you built it. That's.
You can get a 1 terabyte SSD for about 160 here now. Yeah, I paid $40 for a 250 gig. What model mics, if you know? Well, again, I've got a couple different ones. This one that I'm using currently is a Pixel WM9. I want to say this one is like $187. The one that I was trying to use earlier is the Comica. It's a CVM WM300A. It's a two transmitter, 1 receiver, but I can't recommend it yet until we find out what was going on with it. But the ones I started with are Fifine, F-I-F-I-N-E, Fifine. Everything's Fifine with me. And they're like $30.
And I've had no problems with mine. I don't know about you.
They work really well. My only complaint with the Fifines was that that you had to use AA batteries in the receiver end of it. And so I took them apart and soldered wires in there and just wired it into a 3-volt AC adapter. So that
My receiver's USB powered.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's hanging on my ceiling right above my head. Mike, I do want a USB mixer. That's why I won't be buying the one Glenn put a link to.
Oh, you have a USB mic.
Yeah.
Oh, see, mine are
all of my microphones are USB. So
yeah, mine are. It's a quarter inch. It's a quarter inch.
Right.
Phono with an antenna. So those just plug right into my.
I have a handheld that's like that. Anthony Wheeler, that's right. I mean, you can put some smoothers on it, and it'll probably clear that up some. But I'm not going to pay $2,500 for a machine that's pretty much like other machines that are a lot cheaper.
Well, it depends on the driver, but I've never had a whole lot of luck with smoothers getting rid of salmon skin. Now, it will get rid of that candy striping you see. like on a grade, it'll get rid of that pretty well. But salmon skin seems to be pretty prominent no matter what you do.
These are the mics that I started with.
Hey, they work.
Xander and I each had one off to the side, and I figured out I could get them out of frame far enough, and they would still pick up before we went to the wireless. I don't even remember what brand these are, but I remember they're that Neewer, Neewer.
Yeah.
They weren't super expensive, but they worked really well.
Mike, I do want the USB out to PC, but they also have them with USB in, which is what I would like.
I wonder with USB mics, couldn't you? It's got to be some kind of a software mixer that you could run.
Oh, there is. I downloaded it, but then I had problems with something else, so I uninstalled it and I just hadn't put it back in. There is actually a nice mixer you can put on your microphone. The problem is that I'm just about out of USB capabilities with the number of cameras and mics and everything else I've got plugged into this machine on USB. I'm just about done. I mean, USB 3 can only take, the pipe can only take so many devices, you know?
Yeah, I put standalone USB cards in to run my USB cameras so that they would have their own bandwidth.
And I'm thinking about buying a couple of those myself to run my cameras. Because it really is. It's taken up every bit of the USB that I've got to run what I'm running.
Paul, I don't really do Mailbag Mondays anymore just because stuff doesn't come in fast enough, and I don't want to shoot a whole video just for one package. Sean Gold said the 80s called, they want their microphones back.
Yeah.
Studio microphone.
That reminds me, I've got some mail I need to do on my live stream on Tuesday.
Robbie Mack.
I know he comes in here at the end and wants to go, "What's up, Buttercups?"
Yeah.
Well, what's up? Is you weren't here the whole stream, man.
using Eagle Scout projects as an excuse.
Right. I mean, come on. Well, we've got a couple minutes, and I'm not lollygagging today because I didn't have any lunch today, and I am going home. I'm going to have chili dogs for supper.
No, frankly, I'm tired. I haven't slept in a week.
Could I tell a few examples of printers that are really worth their price? Prusa Ender 3, the Creality Ender 3 is worth its money. I'd have to say some of the smaller SLA printers that you can now get for a couple $100, they're worth their money if you're into SLA stuff or DLP, whatever you want to call them. Several of them. So. Yeah, there you go. The Sidewinder X1. What was that? I saw a couple videos on it and I hadn't seen it again. That Delta printer that it was an off brand. It wasn't a Castle. It wasn't. Oh, I watched a video on it and jumped in there and there wasn't but like 6 people watching. But it was over in Europe. Dang it. I can't remember the name of that printer. I want one of them. It's big like the TiVo Little Monster, but it worked out of the box.
Is it like a BQ?
If you're looking for high quality Delta, see me CNC.
Yeah, what, Chris?
BQ? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know if it is or not, man. I'll have to look it up. I'll try to find it before next Sunday, and we'll all forget and I'll forget and all that. But I'll try to remember to bring it up. It may be the Predator. It was something like that.
Mike asked, "How's the patient?" For those that missed the beginning of the stream, she's doing well. The medication is the hardest thing on her right now. She can't. She gets woozy, and of course, still a lot of weakness. So,
Never mind. I don't have to look it up. That was it.
Which one? The Predator?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a massive build volume like this one. I I don't know, Chris. Did you have problems with your Ender 3?
Yeah, extruder wasn't very good.
Yeah, he had to fix his extruder, but the one that I built worked fine right out of the box. And now I'm running the CR20S Pro over here, and it prints fine too.
Yeah, well, some of the Ender 3s in the beginning, there was some issues with the frame and stuff, but they got all that worked out.
They got all that worked out. And for $179, dude, you're not going to beat it. I mean, if you're looking at spending $2,500 on a printer, I know it's a Cartesian, but, you know. Yeah, Scalda has one too. So
I told my girlfriend I wanted that for my birthday next year. She just said, that's expensive.
All right, guys, it is 6:02. Y'all ready to do your outros?
Absolutely.
Do it.
All right, Chris, you're up.
All right. It has been another successful Fun in the Country Basement Sunday afternoon. I got a little bit of work done. I'm pretty impressed with that, but I still have a lot more left to go. I'm getting some parts tomorrow, so I should be able to continue this build. Thanks to everybody that comes to the stream, as always. Glenn and Walter are usually better at the business side of this, so I'll let them take care of all the info you need to know. I am Chris Riley from Chris's Basement on YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter, Chris Riley 3D, if you would like to see the miscellaneous stuff I throw out there. But that's it. Thanks everybody for joining. We'll see you next week.
Well, I guess that's me then. I am Glenn, and well, that's Xander.
Hi.
And we are Fun King 3D, and we can be found pretty much everywhere at Fun King 3D. The easiest way to find us is funking3d.com, and there's all kinds of links from there to take you to our different social media platforms. We prefer Twitter. I do not prefer Facebook, but if you reach out to me on Facebook, you will eventually get a reply. It just may not be in a timely fashion. But the most important thing for these streams, well, the most important thing is that you guys joined us. And I say it every week, these streams would be senseless without you, so we appreciate you guys showing up. But Fun Country Basement or funinthecountry.basement.com will always have where the stream is going to be for the week. Sometimes it's a little late, but
What do you mean it's a little late? It was last night, man. I mean, how early do I gotta send it to you?
You could do it like Chris could go do it right after the stream now for next week.
Well, we can actually do it several in advance now. I mean,
right. So, but you guys can always find us on funcountrybasement.com. Also, along the bottom of there is our our subscription buttons. We would love for you to click those buttons, and even more so, like right now, like if you have not subscribed to Chris and Walter, and you're like, man, I got to go subscribe to those. Don't even bother. Just click that link right there in the chat, and go to subscribe to Xander.
Hello.
But no, seriously, you guys, I want to just absolutely heartfelt thank each and every one of you guys that did subscribe to Xander, because he is now at 71 and he's thrilled. You guys are awesome. I love each and every one of you. That's all I got.
Well, that's funny because that last link that you just pasted, I clicked on. Oh wait, never mind. I didn't click on the link. I clicked on your go to channel for you.
I'm too old to know how to use the internet.
Now he's at 73. Shut up, Xander. I don't want to hear it.
Come on, Chris. That was perfect.
That's not
the end.
It's not valid. It's 6:04.
Yeah, it's after the stream, man.
Yet.
And I'm Walter, Kuntry 3D, and I'm going to hide these two other guys off of here while we get out of here. But thank y'all for being here. And I know Glenn, say your print on thing.
All right, everybody. Print on.
All right, now I'm going to remove him, and I'll see y'all next time. I will see y'all Tuesday on my channel. And Chris is next for Fun in the Country Basement. That's next Sunday, 4 to 6. Glenn did all of that. Y'all take care and have a good time. We'll see you on the next one.